Again, this is Dr. Deborah. As I contemplate all of the things that I'm sharing with you, I started to think about in relationships why we have a problem coming to a place of peace, a place where we begin to reconcile our differences and we move forward together in love and concern and mutual caring. And I I was asking my questions. I want you to think with me, and I'm going to be thinking out loud a lot on this particular entry because I'm just trying to grapple with when people disagree, when people struggle in relationships, what keeps the struggle going? And I had several thoughts, and one thought I had was, again, the need to punish people when they do something wrong. When somebody does something that is wrong, we believe they should be punished for it. And we punish them in our personal relationships by, telling them off and then not speaking to them or leaving them. Maybe shaming them in front of other people or just shaming them in general. But has to be some punishment. And then when I hear myself saying this, I think about, well, when somebody does something wrong to me, I feel like I need to tell them, share it with them, and try to the two of us, fix it. Now, it's not always that easy, but that's what I'm thinking. But if they do something like just really wrong, um, then I can get why people want to punish people. Um, but then I'm saying, well, punishment really never changes anything. It just, I guess you take some of your anger and rage out on someone else, and I guess that's supposed to make everything all right. And I guess that's what a lot of people do. But I'm wondering now, what happens to the love that you have? Say if you punish your child for doing something you told them not to do, for being disobedient, or your significant other does something that was just totally unforgivable. Do you just abandon the relationship, abandon the person because they need to be punished for what they did or what they said or didn't do? You want them to feel bad because you were hurt by what they did. And again, I'm always asking, where is the love in all of this? Where is the love in this? And the kind of love I'm talking about is just the radical love, for the forgiving kind, the kind that reconciles, the kind that fixes something that's broken in a way that you can move forward in the relationship. So I'm going to be thinking out loud about that and putting myself in the place of someone who's been harmed. You know what I think about a lot? If, and I don't even, I hate saying this out loud, but I think it. If my son or daughter was a victim of police brutality and it was fatal, I'm wondering, what would I be like? Would I insist that the police officer be put in jail? I mean, that's what the law says. That's what the law says. But what if the law said the police was in his or her rights and they were afraid for their lives, and that's how they end up killing one of my children? Um, that's an injustice. And so when I think about injustice, then I start to wonder, is punishment the answer? And I cannot say that I would not feel like that. But what I would like to believe is that I, because I guess from where I'm standing, putting that person in jail, which they should go to jail, so don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, especially if they kill one of my kids the way they're killing these other people for no good reason, and they have it on video. I mean, I would be outraged by that, but my baby would still be gone. And how would I move on with my life if this person didn't go to jail? Would I spend my life being angry, upset because that happened to one of my kids, or even one of my siblings, or a cousin of mine for that matter, anybody that I love? I mean, I feel that way about when other people lose their people, but it's closer to home, so there is definitely a difference when it's your kin and when it's somebody else's kin. That's no about a doubt that for me. So I get the need to punish, but the problem is deeper. I'm getting all social justice right quick, but the problem is deeper than the act itself. It's a larger problem of conciliation. It's a larger systemic problem of our social justice system. That's what I do when I bring couples and families together and we talk about what's going on in their homes and in their relationships and in their lives. I am trying to help them get to the place where they can say, yes, you did me wrong, but you did me wrong for the reason you did it. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. You can say you're sorry, but you still did it, and it was a terrible thing. Then what? Then what? Then how do we fix that? What needs to happen? And then I would say, for this larger systemic problem with police brutality and killing innocent people, suppose they found the person guilty and they go to jail. That still does not fix it, because the problem is bigger than just that one child, that one cop. It's bigger than that. So it requires a different conversation. It requires a different remediation, just like it would in a single family. So I got all away from not really away from my point, but making the point why I understand why people need to pay. We have this understanding, this mentality that people, when you do something wrong, you need to pay, and a life for a life perhaps, and then you're hoping that there really is a hell that they can go to for what they did wrong. No redemption for them. You want them to pay. So that's where I come back to. Then what? Then what? Then what about you? Then what do you do? Your kid is still gone. What do you do? Your man still cheated. What do you do? Your mother died suddenly. What do you do? So I'm acknowledging that I get why people they want someone to pay, but it doesn't work for me just to have you pay for something and the problem is still there. That's where radical love, I think, comes in. I'm just talking about Emmett Till's mom. They beat her son up. He was just 14, I believe, and just unrecognizable in his casket. And she said she had no time for hate, but she did want the world to see what these people did to her son. So she had a kind of balance of, there has to be something needs to change here, but something has happened that's never going to change, and that's that my son's gone. And that's where I rest with this radical love, how to love somebody, how to create peace, reconciliation in a relationship when somebody has done something wrong and the other person has this need to punish them. And I guess I'm talking to both parties. How do you get to the love? How do you get to the point where you can say, yeah, that was a terrible thing, but let's fix this, because we can get on the other side of this and still perhaps keep our family intact. And I don't mean not getting a divorce. I mean, whatever kind of breakage that has happened, you can still, your relationship with your cousin, wherever the breakage is, I'm thinking of a friend that I know right now who is struggling with her family and just doesn't think they're giving her the kind of attention that she needs. But I'm wondering, what would it take for her to after she finishes punishing, say, her cousin for not remembering her birthday, or none of her cousins for remembering her birthday or whatever, then you are separated from people you love. And so how do you get together? How do you fix this thing so you can get back to the relationship you had before the breakage came? And I guess where I'm headed with all of this is that people are too satisfied with just punishing somebody without fixing what's wrong. If you don't fix what's wrong, it's going to keep happening. And if we knew how, I think we would. If we knew the value, I think we would. And I'm hoping that this how to love transformative relationship guru thing I'm doing, movement thing I'm trying to start, is the beginning of that. So while you're trying to punish people, think about your relationship. Do you really, 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 really want to go on with in your anger and separation from somebody you love? Or might you? Might you? You don't know because you really want to be mad and you really want to punish somebody, but might you get on the other side of it and realize that you were basically putting your whole life on hold because of your need to punish somebody? Think about that. And I'm going to keep thinking about it because it's not an easy thing, but love does kind of, if you know how to love, you're headed in the right direction of reconciliation. That's what I'd say. All right, until next time, this has been Dr. Deborah, your How to Love Transformative Relationship expert. Take really good care.